Hey everybody, welcome back to Whispers of Myth. Today I want to talk about a story that connects the eerie Mothman sightings of the 1960s, but with a twist that kind of centers around a figure that's kind of embedded within that story. You may have heard of the being itself. It's called Indrid Cold. So buckle up. This one's pretty weird if you've never heard of it. So grab something to drink and settle in. So, we asked the question, who is Indrid Cold? So picture this. November 1966, West Virginia, a setting really already thick with reports of the Mothman, which I'm sure everyone has heard of. Then along comes this guy. His name is Woodrow Derenberger. He's really just an ordinary salesman who is about to have a crazy encounter on his way home. So Derenberger claimed that a strange vehicle forced him to stop, and which even weirder, a stranger emerged to speak with him. But the weirdest part about it is it wasn't spoken through words, but directly into his mind. So the figure introduced himself as Indrid Cold, and from the descriptions, he really wasn't ordinary at all. He kind of had this unsettling appearance that one might expect from someone who wasn't quite human.
Well, I am a salesman, and I drive a truck. And last night, shortly after 7 o'clock, I was coming from Marietta, Ohio, coming down Interstate 77. And just before I came to the intersection of Route 47, there was a car past me, overtaking me from behind, and following closely behind this car was this unidentified flying object. And as the car ahead, or the car behind passed me, this object was following close behind it, and it swerved directly in front of my truck, turning crosswise. And when it turned crosswise, it slowed down. It started slowing, not abruptly or too fast, but it gave me plenty of time to step on my brakes and slow down with it. But it forced me to come to a complete stop. As soon as I had stopped, there was a door opened in the side of this vehicle, and this man stepped out and came directly to me, or came to the truck. He walked to the right-hand side of the truck, and he told me to roll down the window. He asked me to roll down the window on my right-hand side of my truck. And I'd done what he asked.
So his communication method, telepathy, direct mind-to-mind contact, kind of leaves no room for misinterpretation. But all the space is to make you uneasy, for sure. So let's talk about what he actually said, because that's where things get even stranger.
And this man stood there, and he first asked me what I was called. And I knew he meant my name, and I told him my name. And he asked me, he said, why are you frightened? He said, don't be frightened, we wish you no harm. He said, we mean you no harm, we wish you only happiness. And I told him my name, and when I told him my name, he said he was called Cold. That was the name that he was called by. And he asked me what the city of Parkersburg. He pointed to the lights. He didn't point, but he gave the impression that he was pointing, and he asked me what that was called. And I told him it was Parkersburg. It was a city, a town. And he asked me if most all the people lived in this city or town. And I explained to him that it was a place of business. It's where we transacted our business. That the people lived in communities, outlying communities, most of the people. And when I told him that this was a city, he said that where his home was, that was called a gathering. And again, he told me not to be frightened, which I was. I was very frightened. And as far as I can understand, this was all mental. There was no spoken words from him. I knew what he was asking me, but yet he stood there and his mouth did not move. He had a smile on his face. He was He appeared very courteous and friendly. And after I talked with him a while, he told me he would see me. He said, "We will see you again," and he left in his vehicle.
So Cold told Derenberger that he came from another planet. Yeah, this claim has been out there a lot. A claim that sounds really straight out of a science fiction novel, but the message he imparted were cryptic, the kind that stick in your mind and just fester. So unfortunately, detailed records of the exact words aren't fully available, but it was reported that these messages left Derenberger deeply disturbed. He would not talk about the messages throughout his life, ever. But whenever it was brought up, he became deeply disturbed and would immediately disengage from the topic.
And he told me that he was a searcher.
A searcher?
A searcher.
But he didn't tell you what he was searching for?
No, he didn't.
So, I mean, the question, many questions are raised. What was the purpose of the communication? Why choose just an ordinary human for such an extraordinary contact? Very weird. So, was Indrid Cold good or bad? I mean, that's the burning question to me. If we consider his behavior, there's really no evidence that he meant any harm. He didn't hurt Derenberger. Instead, he kind of engaged in a conversation, albeit very strange and weird one at that. But the nature of his messages themselves, cryptic and disturbing, whatever those might be, perhaps it reflects on their alien nature. Perhaps it reflects on doomsday stuff. I don't know, but we can't really determine whether this entity is good or evil. So we can only speculate. That is he a harbinger of doom? A misinterpreted traveler, interstellar visitor, a time traveler, or simply a figment of Derenberger's imagination and paranoia at the time? I guess it was around the Cold War. People may have acted a bit funny, looked into things a little bit more. Who knows?
Hello, John Klein.
Who is this?
My name is Indrid Cold.
Unless, of course, you're Gordon Smallwood.
Your father was born in Racine, Wisconsin. He lived in a greenhouse on Monroe Street. You don't remember how your mother looked.
Okay, you got my attention. Where's my watch?
In your shoe. Under the bed.
You're reading my mind, are you? You're reading my mind.
I have no need to, do I?
What's the third line? Page 51.
A broken smile beneath her whispered winks. Still more proof, John Klein?
What do you look like?
It depends on who's looking.
I want to meet you.
You already have, John. I have seen you afraid. You're frightened right now, aren't you?
Can I ask you something?
Why ask me what you already know, John?
What happened to my wife?
You were there. Mary Curran cannot be found by looking. You will see her in time.
So as we wrap up today, I encourage you to just ponder the possibilities. I mean, was Indrid Cold real? Is he actually an entity from somewhere else? So anyway, drop your theories in the comment section. I can't wait to see what you guys think. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Whispers of Myth, and remember to like and subscribe, guys. Thanks.